Hey everybody, how you doing? I hope you are extremely well. This starts because, as many of you know, if you don't know by now, you're either blind or just something. But I'm a big fan of women's bodybuilding and women with muscle and athletic, strong members of the fairer sex. And wait, since I was 14 years old, yeah, goes back that far. Back then, I saw Steve Wenerstrom's Women's Physique World when I was 14, and my life was completely changed. I always expected women who worked out not to be racist. And why that is I think, a whole psychological discussion. But from my experience, that really has not been the case. They have not been racist until now, that is. Fast forward to today, and I'm a fan of one particular website called Herbicepscam.com. It's a site that features some of the most iconic female bodybuilders and fit models in the entire world. Names like Alicia Young and Deborah Bramwell, Yvette Bova, and Julia Flory. And I can go on and on and on. I can never understand how guys could be into male bodybuilders and not women bodybuilders openly. Openly, okay? It just seems weird to me. I've been that way all my life. And yeah, I'm obviously, well, I'm not obviously single, but I'm black and male. And yes, I'm single. And I'm not, you know, in a committed relationship where I have to worry about, hey, am I cheating or anything like that, or look the appearance of cheating or anything else. I don't do that. I endeavor to be a good person. And so I dated female bodybuilders. In fact, my girlfriend at Cal was a rower who ran the steps in Memorial Stadium 22 times at once. Think about that. But anyway, none of these great relationships with terrific women led to marriage, unfortunately. But just some great friendships with some very driven women, very innovative in their occupations and successful, I might add. If they hit a bump, they figure out a way to go around it. And that's why, that's what leads me to Jillian. She is not, she's on Herbicepscam or HBC, but she doesn't call herself a competitor, just a weightlifter. And anyway, uh, has been pleasant in encounters when they've occurred. But then a few days ago, she came out of a bag, and started on this rant about how much she hated black men. And I didn't know what was going on. In fact, yes, my face wasn't visible. I wasn't like, "Hey, I'm Mr. Black Guy here." It was really weird. Okay, really weird. And she just came out this bag saying all kinds of disgusting, vile stuff that no one should hear. It was abusive. And I specifically asked her that stop being abusive because she was hurting me. I made it clear. And I said, "Hey, why is this KKK stuff? I mean, are you sure this is not the right thing to do?" Um, and then I said, "Yeah, I got to do what I got to do. And what I got to do is I got to explain what happened to me because, look, I'm triggered by George Floyd and what happened to him and the fact that it was broadcast for all of us to see. And that was a signal to me that we haven't gotten over racism. Her talk was in that area. She said, "I don't care. I'm racist. I don't care that you care. I don't care what you, or I don't give a blank what you care." Okay. I'm thinking, where is this coming from? All right. I mean, it was bizarre. All right. It was bizarre beyond measure. All right. Look, the weirdest thing about all of this is the stupid stigma. It really is to this day, that some, including a few women bodybuilders like Jillian, I guess, I don't know what's going on with her, place on the very men who like them. Why? No one ever talks about the guys who are into male bodybuilders. I mean, I can never get into that. I can't get into men who want to compare them muscles to women who work out. Right? That's also just bizarre to me. Women like the tremendous Blackley Ortega, or my friend, who's my friend, and also my friend Teresa Vancic, who I just interviewed right here not too long ago. A fantastic interview. She's a sweet lady and just someone I'm proud to call a friend. I root for all the time. Her and her husband have done an outstanding job of training young male and female bodybuilders, and she just is just outstanding. That's all I can say, is just a completely outstanding person who I'm proud to call friend. And I can't say that enough. And she's representative of a lot of great people out there. She has done a wonderful job of listing, as I say that. And so I picked them off from your website. I was going over her accomplishments over here in this interview that we did, and breaking it down for everybody. And and then it's a great and then Wednesday. Later we talked about, later she talked. Okay.
And you don't have.
This is a metabolism killer.
How she works out
is a metabolism killer.
She's got great advice.
Have a plan. It's hard for you to say, "Oh, get out of bed and go do your cardio." And
right, she's driven, she's focused, she's measured. She has desires. She has a direction about what she wants to do and where she wants to go. That's Teresa Ivancic, and it's no wonder that she's been able to rack up so many endorsements and sponsors and everything else. She's just an excellent person, and representative again of a wide range, a wide field of women bodybuilders out there, pro and amateur. She's pro. Okay. And so anyway, as I was saying, Teresa Ivancic and Black Lee Ortega are two of the sweetest female bodybuilders one would ever come to know. And I say this to you, and I'm thinking about a guy I met way back in the 90s. His name is Richard Goodman. He was an Oakland photographer, and he and I got together because I had this interest. He was actually living on the other side of the lake and forming a women's bodybuilding contest. That's what I went over to his house to talk to him about. But to my surprise, he comes out with this book, 3 inches thick. That's 4 inches. And it was full of photographs of nothing but black, male, bald bodybuilders. And I looked at it and I almost had a baby on the spot. I thought, are you kidding me? Seriously? To myself. And then to him, I said, hey, does your wife know about this? And I was just, I was thinking like, okay, how do I get out of here? And my mind within like a second or 10 seconds went from, hey, I'll be polite and listen, to, you know what? Heck with it. I'm not comfortable with this. And I politely asked him why he wasn't into women. And he, and again, he's married, right? I politely excused myself and left. And I was there for maybe 10 minutes total from entry to leave. It was bizarre. Women's bodybuilding, in my opinion, is a $5 billion industry. Women are now openly building muscle. It's wonderful to see. It's really a great path, but what cannot be allowed is harm to come to fans like me, either emotionally and certainly not physically. Abuse, like what Jill gave out, is not unusual, according to my simple search-based research. Yeah, I actually went to Google and I did a search for I simply searched OnlyFans racism, and I found a number of examples of racist encounters on OnlyFans. And it's not a site that I regularly go to. And the reason I don't is because I'm a fan of women bodybuilders. Herbicepscam came out of originally, I think, FT videos, which was started by Jean Hex Huang. It's a famous photographer of women bodybuilders, and a number of other people, great people, and all who have had and have a love for women bodybuilders, and agreed that there should be some kind of way for them to make money, because it is expensive to work out. It is expensive for IFBB pro female bodybuilders to get to that level. They've got to have some kind of way of making that money. And if they can't hope to do it, being a waitress or a driver or anything, you've got to have an extra source of income to allow you to afford that equipment and supplements to get there. That's just the way. And I'm not talking about those who are who are using something that like steroids or something. I'm just simply talking about the off the shelf stuff that you can get at GNC to help build muscle, creatine and so on. You got to be careful with that. But all that costs money. Okay. All of it costs money. And Teresa to get how she looks and others, that takes time, money, effort, the right places, gym memberships, everything. It takes a commitment that sometimes cuts into a job that's lucrative. I know some women bodybuilders who are working on their PhDs, right? And that's really a tough haul. So there needs some place to be able to show their progress, be proud of it, get accolades, and make some money. And that's where Herbicepscam comes in. And I'm not trying to put them down at all. I love them. Okay. That's not what this is about at all. But it is about pointing to a problem that has to be addressed. And all right, stopping racism and women telling lies about people, maybe as the result of a drug problem, I don't know, has to be the goal of Herbicepscam and other sites. But again, Herbicepscam is, as far as I'm concerned, the gold standard of how things should be done. I'm not on OnlyFans, as I said, okay? But I have found videos of people making complaints about personalities over there too. Men, especially black men. We deserve a safe space. Or considering all the problems we face, safe spaces, plural, right? There's nothing wrong with asking for that. But also, and again, I'll say this, it is vitally important for us to make absolutely certain that women bodybuilders have spaces, plural, that they can go. Because we have problems where women bodybuilders like Teresa, if you enter a contest, you're not getting top dollar. Listen, this is Teresa.
You don't have a reason to do it, other than the fact of like staying healthy and staying fit. So when you're up against a different level and you're in the pro ranks, these other girls, all you constantly keep thinking is they're not sleeping in, or they're not, doing this, or they're not doing that. You want to always be on your A game, because right now, like, no one has room for error, because there is no points. It's you're either winning or you're losing. And that's it.
Do you have a group of female bodybuilders you talk to about, foods and nutrition? What I'm thinking is there a trend that you try to follow? Maybe somebody says, try to eat this, or, this is the new meal or something like that. Or is it very basic?
It's pretty basic. Like, I'm a coach and I coach a lot of people. I got a lot of girls pro, guys pro too. I write for Amazon Fit Mags, and my last article, it's not published yet, it was just submitted, is about, is there a perfect formula for a body transformation? And it pretty much talks about, like, there is no cookie cutter diet. There is nothing that, like, this person, it worked for them and it's going to work for me. You have to really understand, your body. And for me, and as an example, is my legs, I know they haven't really come in like they want to, but nobody listens to me. When I tell them my legs are aching when I'm doing cardio, they're aching. They're aching for a reason. So, and they always have a layer of water on them. So we started to pull back on the cardio and my legs started to tighten up. So, but it's a coach thinking that I'm trying to get out of cardio. Do you know what I mean? Like, and any coach is going to think that. But when I'm in realistically, I'm trying to speak and communicate and tell them what I know is best. You have to communicate with someone. If you can't go to the bathroom, right, and there's certain foods that just don't work with you, or, you're bloated or you're gassy, or.
I'm saying you get the idea just by listening to her, the involvement and what it takes to be, a fantastic, great bodybuilder. And something else I want to tell you, though, because she and I talked about a guy that she encountered at a fitness contest who has his own channel, a YouTube channel, and proceeds by asking her questions like, do you take steroids and all this? Look, I don't know on what side of the planet people think that's an okay thing to do, because you don't treat men like that at these contests. This guy wouldn't do it. And he comes up with this, he points the mic in her face and is really insulting. And if I saw that at the contest, I would say, excuse me, sir, just please treat her with the respect she deserves. We need to do that. And there's nothing wrong with a little chivalry in defending women bodybuilders because, hey, look, no one's defending them well, like they should be defended, okay? They're not making the money they deserve. They're not getting the constant vision on television that they deserve. Even at this time, when if you go all around social media, you can see women on Instagram, athletes, gymnasts, everybody working out to their peak, women trying to build muscle. All right. I mean, and doing a fantastic job of it. Okay. A fantastic job of it. So we've got to really turn the inside out. It literally just like that. And make it okay for women bodybuilders to be women bodybuilders so that they're making the money they need so they don't have to get so frustrated that they wind up saying things they don't mean to say or putting people who visit platforms like Herbicepscam in any place where they feel threatened, threatened, abused, and unhappy. Because that's certainly what happened to me. All right. And that was, again, an abnormality, but it's one that was so bad, I had to just say, hey, wait a minute, excuse me, okay? And then lying about me, like I saying, oh, you asked for this? I said, I didn't. And I kept writing, why are you lying? I didn't. I don't like that, all right? Stop doing that, okay? It was freaking bizarre, all right? Bizarre. But it makes you wonder who that person might harm in real life. Well, the other real life. Sad stuff, okay? So again, if you're running a site like that, put a disclaimer out there for your personalities. Just say, hey, look, don't treat people like that. Be nice to them. Everybody's got great days and bad days, and when they come in, they may have had the worst day in their life. Make them make them feel like you want to feel good and everything else. If you don't want to feel that way, then don't come in, right? So, but look, and again, the overarching issue for me is that women's bodybuilding is undercapitalized. I've said this for years. I'll continue to say it. Women's bodybuilding is undercapitalized. I don't know if she and I talked about that in our interview. We need to do another one. Let me fast forward. And I think there's a guy, George Page, that does a great job of putting.
My name is Joe Barlow.
And I'm Megan Barlow.
Does a great job of putting women bodybuilders in the spotlight. I don't think his videos get as much views as they should because he doesn't title them correctly from an SEO standpoint. But nonetheless, I really enjoy what he's doing. But here's Theresa, what she was saying.
We brought some beauty back. Judging's a little crazy in some shows, but then we lost sponsorships. We lost a lot of the pro shows. They got dumped from us.
This is
what's very limited. I don't even.
Women's bodybuilding and pop culture. Here, listen to this.
And now you've got this into a routine where, it is to really frame the conversation for you, including the food and everything else. So now that you're at this place where you are a celebrity, I want to ask you, where do you think women's bodybuilding is in pop culture and where you think it can be?
I mean, it's out there now. It's in your face now. You see a lot more about it. I've gotten a lot, like we talked about off camera, a lot more movie role options, that I've been doing a lot of interviews with. I have a lady that might be flying in from the UK to do a day in a life with me as well. We're still filming Beyond Bodybuilding. It's been picked up by Sony Productions, and that's been in work since 2018. That's teaching about bodybuilding and femininity. And to me, that means everything because that's how our future generations are going to grow. If these girls see something on stage that they're like, I don't want to look like that, then it's over, And right now it's the bodybuilding, to me, I feel like we're a little wavy at the time. Like we came back full force. We brought some beauty back. Judging's a little crazy in some shows, but then we lost sponsorships. We lost a lot of the pro shows. They got dumped from us. So
Why?
we're very limited. I don't even have an answer for it.
Hmm.
So it's now we don't have a lot of places to qualify. So now you're shoving, and this is another article I wrote in Amazon Fit Mags. So if you're a brand new pro and you're trying to make it to the Olympia, you're kind of screwed, unless you have that A sharp, tight frame and a beautiful physique, because now you have, let's just say there's 20 people at the O and you only have 7 going back. You have the rest of those that are coming down to only 5 qualifying shows in the United States to qualify again to go. So you're automatically going against an Olympian right out of the gate. So the odds are just not in your favor for you to ever pick up on a dream to step foot on that Olympia stage, because you have to go through all of these heavy hitters before you even get the chance to maybe even make a top 5 in the pro show.
And I noticed that the Ms. O winner only gets $50,000, whereas I think minimum it should be $100,000.
Well, look at the men. I mean, there's been $480,000 pumped out for them.
Yeah.
So it's just not it doesn't weigh out. I mean, yeah, we have other divisions and they find.
You see, that underscores the problem. You hear that? Only 400, she said only $50,000 for the top female athlete, IFPP Pro Olympia, versus $400,000 for the men. Okay, that's wacko. Okay, absolutely wacko. I mean, I can't, it's unbelievable. Hold on a second.
And Jake, yes, he's an amazing man, and he finally did bring all the numbers up, because the women's bodybuilding, the physique, all the men's divisions were only making $20,000. He brought everybody up to at least 50. Now the men bodybuilders, of course, they're up in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, which I don't feel is fair.
No, I don't see. Here's why I think it's illogical is because it as I said to my friend off camera, 1946 woman photograph of her bending a train rail. When I was 6 years old, I saw that, and that's got me, as I said to you, as a fan. But there are a lot of men like me who prize that, but only now is it coming to a point where, like Wonder Woman, played by Gal Gadot, was seen in a photograph promoting the film, lifting a very hard, heavy object.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Whereas folks like, I'm not going to name the producers. That's not the point. There's been an effort to take away the strength of women who are in bodybuilding, or in any way where they would show strength and muscle, right? Mm-hmm. And now we're finally getting over that. But when I look at Instagram, I look at women bodybuilders, the numbers of followers are far in excess of men, which logically should equal a sponsorship, a lucrative one, or several. That's what gets me, Theresa. That's what bothers me. It's like, what can we do as fans to help change that?
That's a very touchy subject, because it's all these companies now, like they don't sponsor anybody because they have 10 million ambassadors throwing out coupon codes advertising their products. And if you go back to like the Arnold, okay, I stood in line for hours to meet these pros that were sitting at these booths. You don't really see that much anymore, because you see them so much on social media. Some just don't. It's just not intriguing like that. Like I've watched it. It's yes, it's busy, but it's not like it used to be. With the like free products and then the inline for the autographs and the pictures, a more personable time. It's just a lot different. It's so much different than what it was when we were growing up. And I wish it would be more, but it's not.
So you're saying that social media has really negatively impacted the ability for any one particular person to build lucrative celebrity? Is that it?
No, I mean, I think like I built my platform that way. You know what I mean? And I started doing my YouTubes back in the day, it was actually a joke. Like I was just not a joke that way, but it was me just playing around on the internet and said, no, I'm just going to start a YouTube. And this was like back in like 2000, probably 6, 7, 8-ish, I was just loading little things. But I think 2 years ago, I got the silver plaque from YouTube. You know, like, and it wasn't even intentional. Like, it was just because of the subscribers that you ended up with having.
Right.
So these are all formats and platforms for you to build your own brand.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I like, because now I'm in control. I can do what I want. I don't have anybody paying me anything to say, oh, you can only post this or this or this or this. Yes, I am tied into a lot of sponsors that I do have to post a lot of, with them too, because they are sponsoring me. They are giving me free tanning. I got hair and makeup, you know, I got suits. I have my meals from MegaFit Meals, you know, and supplement companies from Gaspari. I mean, I have a ton of different sponsors. So that is your way of networking. So that if you do it right, you can build a massive glass, you know, platform that way. You know, people will follow you, but I just don't think it's that same personable, because it's like almost like, you know, it's like you see them every day. Mm-hmm. Because you're scrolling and you're like, oh, there they are, there they are. And then when you see them in person, it's not that, oh my God, did you see like who's here? You know, and that's the same way back in the day when they gave out very little pro cards. You walked into a gym and you saw someone with an IFBB Pro belt on, you literally like hit the floor and you're like, who is that? And now there's a dime a dozen. You walk in a gym, everybody's a pro. So it's like, it's just taking it from the old school to the new now. It's just, it's a complete different. It's so different.
No, you're absolutely right. And I'm wondering too, also, if it's a matter of who's running the particular contest, because all these are events. Mm-hmm. Some are held at hotels, and you know. But I'm wondering if it is that they're not promoting the event themselves in a way to make it more lucrative for a sponsor. Because to me, right now, this should be on television. Commercials mm-hmm. and talk shows should have you on. There was a time when that was the case, but it was made more from a perspective that I found annoying, which is almost making fun of those.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, mm-hmm. to me, that should be out of the way. It should be about nutrition, fitness, mm-hmm. being the best you can be, showing an optimal example of what you can be, right?
Yep.
But there's something where, is it fair to say, I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but are the promoters not working with the participants to say, hey, look, here's something, put this out there for us. You're an influencer, bring the numbers to us, which would help you get more money.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they do send out stuff, you know, to have, and they tell us, you know, go ahead and make sure you promote. We need them to buy the pay-per-views and things like that. Now, there's some pro shows where you barely get a goodie bag anymore. You know, and it's like, I don't know. I mean, I've been a pro since 2016. So it's like, I've watched it kind of like decline. There used to be like a meet and greet at all the check-ins as well. Like mm-hmm. we would have to go in and have our meeting, and then fans were allowed to come in and come talk to us at our tables. Like that's no longer. So it's almost like a revolving door. You know, it's like, okay, well, you paid for your pro card or you paid for your NPC card. Let's get them in, let's get them out. You know, and that's what I see sometimes with a lot of promoters. And it's not like it's the care and everything to the people. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of good promoters out there that do put a lot of emphasis into their stuff. They bring in guest posers. It's not a quick, you know, in and out, you know, turnaround. But I mean, some market, some don't. You know, so I feel like some don't do enough. Mm-hmm. You know, I feel like there could be a lot more visual, like videos and things like that they're constantly using, even if it's old content from the previous years. You could be putting it out there to advertise, you know, right. how the show looks. Yeah.
You know, you just made me think about something. I received a pitch to buy into a franchise fast food. I don't have that kind of money right now, but it was, I thought I have to borrow it. That's beside the point. But I was thinking, how would I do it? And I thought, well, sports, I'd invite athletes and everything. And then I started thinking about, because I cover sports business as well, and we do here at Zenny 62 Media, but I started thinking about sports franchises. Are any of these shows part of a franchise where they could have a kit and they give you this kit of how to promote the show, how to do it, you know, and then you can buy into it. And then the show could be anywhere. It could be Atlanta, Oakland, Outer Mongolia, right? Is anybody doing that?
Well, I'm just going to flip to this and close by saying,
what's a morning routine like for women who are watching? You know, how do you start off your day?
So I'm usually up like between like 5:30 and 6, have to let the dog out, feed her. And then I go downstairs and I stretch first because otherwise I'm not going to move. Sometimes I'll throw in a little bit of a posing, and then I'll do my cardio, and then sometimes abs. And then I'll come upstairs and I'll get my food ready, and then I start working on the books for the gym. I check and see if anybody bought memberships, anything needs plugged in, pay the bills, balance books, all that kind of stuff. And then by then I'm in for my second meal, and then I'll eat that. I'll go to the gym, I'll train, and then I'll eat my post-workout meal. And since I'm taking a lot of the time off in between, I would be helping out at the gym, helping running the desk, because the PT's just been way too busy for those guys to do it. Or I would be coming home to do more stretching, get massaged, practice my posing, or put my routine together. And then it's pack your stuff for the next day again, so it's a vicious, cycle. You got the dishes, you got your clothes, and it's just a vicious cycle every single day. It's kind of Groundhog Day-ish,
Yeah,
but that's what you need to do. The body likes consistency. So that's my wonderful, fun life.
What do you eat? You say,
a little bit of everything, right now, like a balance, between, chicken, fish, steak, vegetables, and then like rice, oatmeal, cream of rice, so there's a little bit of a balance of things.
What's a morning routine like for you?
Then like I wanted to win, Toronto, and I wanted to go to the Olympia for my third time, and I wanted to move myself up in the ranks. Like that was the blueprint that I had. So depending on how, it goes, if I choose to do, I think it's Chicago or Tampa, we know that we have to win those in order to make it to the Olympia for this year. Is that definitely top on the roster? Absolutely. But I'm going to see what my body, which I was big about with the balance and making sure that you're healthy first, wants to continue, because you can't fight the mind and the body. They have to be on the same playing field.
And on that note, you look fantastic. Hey, show them your guns.
Thank you.
See? Okay. And that's how it's a beautiful woman with muscle. All right. That's how a beautiful woman with muscle should look right there. That's what I was trying to line that up. And she's not on Herbicepscam, by the way. She's on Instagram. And again, I'm going to have her back for another interview, but want to emphasize that I want you to watch that entire interview. It's almost an hour long. Get your favorite warm beverage or what have you, and enjoy listening and learning a lot about an accomplished female bodybuilder who is just a heck of a nice person. And then again, ask for safe spaces for fans of women bodybuilders like Teresa, wherever they are, to be just that, right? I think from here on out, I'm going to do more of my own interviewing of female bodybuilders, because that's the kind of exchange that I want. I think people need to know more about what these great ladies are doing, and they're not getting it. They're not. Herbicepscam doesn't provide the proper, it's popular, but the proper place, right? To get that from them. And I think what George Page is doing is fine, but his line of questioning is different from mine. His way of thinking is different from mine. But I still support what he does. So, but I have a different way, and I think I'm going to relaunch that. All right. So there you go, folks. And hey, again, check out Herbicepscam and what they're doing. I'll see you. All right. That ends the stream.